Hello all, my name is John DiOrio, and today I'll be discussing the literature review and its relevance to my action research proposal. Specifically, I'll be talking about how positive reinforcement can effectively manage disruptive behavior in the classroom. Let's begin. Positive reinforcement strategies have gained significant traction in recent years in classrooms across the United States as a means of managing behavior during instruction. Let's look at some key findings. The findings in this report are categorized as they are in the proposal. And to start, we will be speaking on the effectiveness, or excuse me, the strategies for positive reinforcement. The study conducted by Rafi, Ansar, and Sami, 2020, gives a broad view of positive reinforcement strategies used in the classroom. They examined several interventions and stressed the need for consistent feedback with students, as well as structured rewards set up as a means to support academic performance and desired behaviors during class. And in this visual, you see some of the means with which the authors went about that in their study. They examine databases on the internet across specific keywords such as disruptive behavior, challenging behavior, and problem behavior, in addition to strategies on praise and feedback. Another study, Shields et al. 2019, focused on the influence of positive reinforcement on academic performance. The analysis of the researchers showed that specific plans for reinforcement had a marked impact on both academic performance and behavior in students with unique learning needs. And in this table here, you see the purposes and rationales for each sequential step of the model they used to evaluate their subjects. In the first step, their purpose is to identify between can't do and won't do groups and evaluate changes in problem behavior and academic performance when the reinforcement is added, under the condition that you're getting positive reinforcement for task attempts and task accuracy. The rationale being that the positive reinforcement will help to get around how students want to avoid tasks and establish motivation to do tasks. And we see that the same thing, purpose, rationale, and condition, in terms of the instructional strategies used, as well as the contingent negative reinforcement for task attempts and accuracy, allowing for variability in the study. From here, we'll encounter the first of the two Caldarella articles that we will encounter in this review. And in this first one, focuses on the relationship between praise to reprimand ratios and behavioral outcomes. Caldarella, Larson, Williams, and Wills, 2021A, found that higher praise to reprimand ratios positively correlated with improved behavior outcomes among students. Furthermore, they emphasized the importance of effective praise in supporting on-task behavior, which means it has to be intentional, almost scientific. In the classroom, you can't just say, good job. You need to be specific, tell them what is being, the effect, you need to, as we do in our discussions, give them effective feedback. It has to be scientific, almost in the means of the RISE method that we use. Not exactly for students, but students need to specifically know and understand what they're doing correctly so they can keep doing that and improve further and attain both learning and behavioral outcomes. From here, we will delve into the effect of positive reinforcement on behavior and academic performance. And understanding this perspective is crucial for creating a positive classroom culture. Here, we'll begin with our second Caldarella article. This one, authored by Caldarella, Williams, Wills, and Webby, 2020, focused on the effect of negative reinforcement on problem behaviors in the classroom. They found that reprimands do not support positive behavior change over time, and they suggest that more effective strategies, such as those outlined in our previous articles, have a more effective outcome. And you see here that the differences between the time lost in the classroom and the time engaged. Furthermore, Hayden and Musti Rao 2012 went about a case study that explored how behavior-specific praise effectively managed a middle school classroom. The results showed that behavioral-specific praise for positive behavior positively influenced student engagement during instruction. If you have engaged students, you have learning students. And part of that balance is not only your instructional strategies that you bring forth in your lesson plans and your means for differentiation for unique needs, it also comes about in classroom management strategies for behavioral and emotional things. For example, in this past school year, a few of my students had diagnosed learning issues, and some of them needed special strategies to help them stay organized. For example, I would put one student's books on the windowsill in order to allow them an efficient means to both get out of their chair and transition from class to class, and helped with engagement with this student. And it goes all hand in hand together. From here, we explore how we can create a positive learning environment using positive reinforcement. Sigler and Amador, 2005, addressed this by emphasizing the distinction between praise and positive reinforcement. The authors highlight that positive reinforcement aims to increase the frequency of desired behavior using pleasant stimuli. They also identify key elements of positive reinforcement to help differentiate. 1, reinforcement and punishment. 2, identifying easily attainable positive reinforcers. 3, stopping dangerous behaviors. And 4, ignoring unwanted behaviors. Reinforcement is used to create increase desired behaviors, and it is crucial to communicate and clarify the specific behaviors that are desired, such as in your classroom rules and expectations starting on day 1 of the school year. Secondly, positive reinforcers should be readily accessible and quickly achievable. For example, if you have a reward system, you don't want to, and you're using class currency as the proposal outlines, you don't want to make your prizes so expensive, quote unquote, that you will not be able to have students get their rewards. And it's from there, it is essentially immediately stop and correct outlandish behaviors, but long lectures should be avoided. Instead, state that the behavior is not desired and move on. Lastly, ignoring unwanted behaviors can be effective, but dangerous behaviors should be addressed promptly, and avoid giving attention to negative behaviors, as this inadvertently reinforces them. Also, Whitey and Ackerman 2020 highlights the importance of effective feedback. Their study showed how feedback given by teachers influences student behavior and improves academic outcomes and shapes the overall learning experience. If you have students that are getting constant and effective feedback, they're 1, more likely to be engaged, and 2, more likely to have that want to be there. From there, effective class management and class culture creation can foster the attitude of being accepting and relishing in challenges, and that can-do attitude that successful students have. To wrap up, this literature review has provided valuable insights into the effectiveness of positive reinforcement strategies in managing disruptive behaviors. The studies reviewed emphasized how behavior-specific praise, appropriate praise to reprimand ratios, and evidence-based management techniques can address behavioral shortcomings and improve academic outcomes. Thank you very much for listening.